Hey, you know who this is? Good to see you. I hope everybody's day was fulfilling. Um, Today I'm halfway done with my 30-day sentence of confinement at work. And it's been a trip. It's been a trip to have to do this twice this year, 30 days of confinement. Like, I made some really indifferent choices for myself, but I think everything happens for a reason. I feel like the universe will take you on a journey if you want to go on a journey. And I think that's where I was at in my life about 4 or 5 years ago. I spent 10 years in a 12-step program, which I was really involved with, like, nonstop, and went through the steps. I was going through 12 steps a year, basically, consistently. It was kind of like I was allowing intuition to guide me in how much time I was going to put into the program. And, I basically had to get rid of all my old friends and meet new ones that were in the program. And, some people call it like an occult. And I think everything can be labeled as a cult if you think about it, But labels are labels. They don't really mean anything after a while. So my PO that I have now, he's clear up, 50 miles up the mountain, and where I'm at is nowhere near his jurisdiction. And not that he really did his job anyways when I did have him. But he called me up and asked me if I was returning to the place I was staying at, or supposedly staying at, which I can actually not stay at due to the rules and circumstances that they have when you're on probation. So I told him no, I was going to stay here. I didn't see any worth in staying up there when I'm in the same spot. So I might as well live at work where I have all the things that I need: shower, laundry, all that, it's doable. And I've been doing it, for like 20 days now. And it's what I make it, and there's only so much I can do and so much work I can do on myself and so many series I can watch and so much music I can listen to. I actually started implementing, it's no longer air drumming, but just tapping with my sticks, and creating patterns on my dashboard. I mean, simple as that. It's so weird how we tend to forget, or should I say be grateful for the simple things in life, because once they're taken away, then you understand a little more. But when you're so used to always having that, which I've been living in and out of my car the last 4 years, and I've always found a way to get a shower or do laundry, because I've always had a job. I've always had some kind of income to be able to scrape by, I guess you can call it. Now with all the fines and things that I got going on, like, I am scraping by. Food's at a minimum. I eat simple, but I don't eat a lot. And it's okay. I can live with it. I can live through it. I got some things to look forward to in the next few days. My dad's coming down tomorrow to work on my car. We got a fully functional garage to work in, so that'll be nice for him. I, of course, have to work the front table at my job tomorrow, so I might be busy with that. Go back and forth. Get to hang out with Pops. Really cool. I cherish the moments that we do have. They're very far and in between, but the ones I do get, I'm really grateful he's still around in this level of living. I get to go on my 2-hour shopping time, which is always good. Get some more supplies to last till next week. I get to go back to court Tuesday to see if I can replace one of my promises to the judge. See if I can switch and get a couple days on the monitor since I'm already on it, rather than have to go work for free for 48 hours. See if he'll do me that solid, at least so I can get that little segment of list and demands that I signed and said I would do, basically. It's a Friday night. A group of my friends from Salt Lake City, they're playing a show tonight, which is fine. And usually I would feel bad that I couldn't be there, but I've just kind of accepted a lot of stuff because I've been forced to. I feel like when the universe feels like I've gotten in over my head as far as like my lifestyle sometimes, or maybe I'm not doing the right things, making bad choices, the universe always throws me in a predicament to where I'm being made to it's basically a timeout, to take a good look at me and how I perceive the world and myself. Like right now I'm looking at probably having to live in this truck lot until next year, going through finances and seeing how much money I really don't have afterwards. It's a realistic view of how things will be. The upside is, one day I could get a raise at my job. Never know. Maybe somebody else will come with a better job, more paying job, out of nowhere. Things like that tend to happen sometimes. Just never know. So I stay pretty optimistic, but I also look at the reality of it as I'm sitting here now. And things are getting closed up. I'll probably have 3 of my courts paid off at least in the next 3 months, and I'll have gone through a few payments, get my $1,300 fine at least down to $1,000 by then, and then some of that money will get freed up, and I can just put that portion onto my last fine because it's so huge, and there's of course an interest rate on everything. So but I'm excited to go and see the judge, and then after that I have to go and introduce myself to Davis County APMP, and then I should also get the word back from my drug evaluation, what classes, if any, that I have to take, because that's one of my other promises to the courts, is to do some kind of treatment, or at least an evaluation to see if I need treatment, and then go from there. Of course, it's more money out of my pocket, but I'm just doing what I can to appease the court so I can have my freedom back and not have to be looked over and told to pee in a cup, because it is a bit degrading. Wearing this ankle monitor is kind of degrading too, but once again, it's like I have acceptance today from where I'm at, and I keep people updated on what's going on with me. This is part of the process here. And when I need help, I do reach out. I definitely do. Like, the real help that I seem to have been needing lately is just remembering why I'm here, I guess, you know. Because sometimes I think I'm helping people, and I've come to find out that I'm not really helping them. I mean, I'm trying to be an example to people that want to change their lives and want to better themselves and do something different from what they've been doing. And, you know, at least for me, I'm 48, and who knows how long I got. So the more I can reach out and help people, I feel like the better I feel about myself. And a lot of people would say, well, you got to help yourself before you can help other people, which is in most cases very true. But when you're a healer and that's kind of like your main goal, you can't help but to still try to help those. At least that's how I am, even when I'm not in a position to, at least I can be somebody people can call and vent to. One of my problems is sometimes I do, well, it's not really a problem, I guess, because I don't always tell people how to live or what to do, but I do share my experiences and what I have been through that's relatable with their situations or issues that they call me about, or vice versa. You know, it goes both ways. We're both students and teachers. We kind of bounce, and that's the way, I think it should be. That's what we're here for, to help one another, to learn how to help one another, And, I've been to the point a lot of times where I'm not fully prepared for any kind of change in my life, and I just have to be adaptable, like really quick. I have to just really stop caring about what people think about me, as far as like the changes I make so dramatically in my life. If there's something that needs to be worked on with me, it eventually does get worked through. But the plain and simple fact is, I'm a healer. If I come into your life and you kind of tug on my heartstrings a little too much, shit's gonna happen. That's just the way it is. That's how I've functioned. That's how I've functioned most of my life, and I think that's an aspect of me that's probably never going to change, because I have dove into working on myself a lot. I took a break and I lost vision of what I was here to do. For a while, I just thought I was a musician, a drummer for anyone. That's what I did for all last summer, was like that. I was learning about sound and working on the weekends at a bar. That was really fun, and playing in a few different projects throughout the week live. It was exciting. It was fun, and still working full time throughout that whole ordeal. But I kind of drowned myself in hallucinogenics for a while, and I'm not exactly that part. At first, I knew why. I was trying to like cover up feelings and stuff, even though the issues I had wrote about, I was working through them in a natural way, but it feels like I just wanted to be lost for a while. Not necessarily lost, let me retract that. Seeing things in a different view, because I didn't feel like I was lost, But I did feel like I got a little out of touch with my my soul spirit. I wasn't focusing on that as much. It seemed like I was more focused on tripping, playing music, and it became consistent for like 4 years. So, and I think the fact, living in a car and trying to figure out life and wanting to feel stable and wanting all this, there was too many things I feel like I was wanting right away. And we all know stuff doesn't happen overnight. And instead of just working on it one by one, I was trying to have this high expectancy of being able to get what I needed or what I wanted, as far as like a place to live, so on and so forth. I mean, things that are serious, but I don't necessarily need to live in a home, because I've survived, even in Florida, of all places. I've gone through some stuff, and I started to see that a lot of more people are living like this, just because inflation is so huge, and the wages are so freaking low. None of it makes any sense. So people are starting to turn to being smart and investing in things they can live in that are portable, that they can take, and without having to pay all the rent, all the utilities, just being able to keep up a vehicle, of some sort, or a trailer of some sort. So, and I'm nowhere near that point where I can even afford that. And it's okay. I've accepted it. And I just do what I need to do. Some days are really good. Some days, I don't know, I guess, yeah, some days are really good since I've been in this confinement situation. I haven't had really bad days, and I think I just, I'm not, I feel like I'm not as laid back as I usually am before I got into confinement, just because I'm not parked in a place where it's cool to just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just changing. Maybe I've just had some experience in the last year that has made me act different. Because usually I'm a really goofy person, and lately I've just been more serious, more kept to, more quiet, because I'm trying to focus, and I'm working on focusing more on my energy and maintaining it, and plus because I don't eat as much as I probably should, and I might not get that great of sleep, that deep sleep that we all need, that I'm less energized to a degree. But I know every time I clock out and I come back to the car, I'm very proud of myself. I made it without fucking doing something stupid, or and I got to leave twice today to go put out money for things I told them I would. I'm fulfilling that integrity side, because without doing what I need to do, I'm just going to end up sitting in jail and getting lazy. That's not me. So so I was talking about doing hallucinogenics and doing acid, and I stopped because I couldn't get none anymore, and I started like picking better times to use rather than all the time, because back when I was using all the time, I was always performing live, and to me that was like the best feeling ever. And the last time I did that live, it actually kicked my ass. It was fun, but man, the effects it had on me it I was, because I used acid to focus mainly. I started doing it to be able to. It was kind of like uh, it just made me more aware, I guess, and I wouldn't see stuff, so I was able to function. And half the time, nobody knew I was on it. Of course, I got to the point where, after a while, if you're microdosing, you don't really realize your body doesn't respond to it. That's pretty much what I did for like 4 years, is a microdose on that, and sometimes overdo it here and there, if we're partying or whatever. But I think I've been going through depression from not doing that, from quitting the acid. And my stepdaughter told me the facts about it and said, oh yeah, you'll experience that, it's totally normal. So I was like, oh yay, fun. Depression. I'm not usually a depressed type of person, so it's been really different for me. I'm usually pretty outgoing, fun-loving, and fun to hang out with, and I've been told by a few different people that I've turned into an asshole to some certain degree since they met me. And I think this is not me passing the buck off to my drug use, but I think it's had a lot to do with that. Not only that, after I got all these charges, taking acid wasn't as fun. It just wasn't appealing, and plus my life got turned upside down. Everything I aspired to do just kind of disappeared. Not that it won't come back, because music's always going to be a part of my life. It's always been my number one love, and I've been willing on several occasions to make it my number two love and make me my number one. And I've been known to make other people number one, which is really, it's a tough one. You can really mess yourself up if you're not shielded, or if you're not having boundaries. It can really turn you into a different person, I feel. I think it did that with me. In a major way too, so. And I'm not saying it's a good or a bad change. It's just really different, so I can't really judge if I really like the change that's happened due to some experiences or relationship things. So I'm still trying to, kind of just like be present for myself, so to speak, and not put too much emphasis on worrying about other people so much, more than I normally do, I guess. Kind of lessen that a little bit, because I'm the only one that's gonna get me out of my hole. So in regards to that, all I can be is an example of not giving up, which I feel is where I'm at today. I'm not giving up. So there's been many times I wanted to, but then I had some help from some people, and it kind of motivated me just to do what I need to do and hash it out, and put on my big boy pants, and do what's asked of me or told. Consequences of not doing the things I say I'm going to do, to kind of lessen my my love level for myself. Integrity has been a huge part of my life ever since I can remember, actually. It's just gotten a lot stronger. Yeah, so today's been a good day. I'm grateful for the small things. And I haven't lost gratitude in the small things. I never really, small things are big things to me, you know. Big events, things like that really don't. It's the small things that I can receive or give on a daily basis to myself and or other people. It's a consistent thing with me. And I think that's what's helped me get up when I fall down, is because I'm here for my purpose, to help and show and be an example of how you can get through life and still be on the up and up with yourself, you know. Some people skate through life and they're miserable, but I kind of put myself in situations a lot where a lot of things are going to be taken away, and I'm forced to learn how to live with bare minimum and still be happy about it, you know. I have to agree, though, back when my ex-girlfriend was staying with me in the car, it did make the situation a lot easier, because I had somebody to talk to, I guess. I still got people I talk to all day, or here and there throughout the day, but it's not the same, you know. So there's the moments, but I have a variety of things I can still do, and you know, I get to work tomorrow. Yay! Finish out the work week, move on through with the new week of getting through this juncture in my life, being open to learning as much as I can about myself and direction. I'm sure more things will come up as I get a new PO. This living situation might not work for them, so they're going to have to either put me in jail or find a place for me to live that I can afford, if they want me to continue to stick with this, because going off to jail doesn't save a job, that's for sure. So, you know, I have a drum set I'm grateful for, have a job, have a car. Those are the 3 things I do have that I cherish and I am grateful for, but most of all, I have love for myself today, and that's the biggest. And you can't, you know, there's no gift that can outshine that, you know. No item that's gonna beat that. So today I'm grateful, I'm humbled. I'm never one, I don't feel, to like judge people. I mean, I have to, you kind of have to. It's just a natural thing in order to keep yourself safe sometimes. But I've been the most open I've ever been in my life, you know, the last couple of months. Open to things that scare me, open to change a little more easier. Like, I've had to make so many changes, so many moves, and I just always had to be ready to just, if I need to leave and do my own thing from what I'm doing, I can do that, you know. I'm not stuck somewhere. So yeah, it's been a hell of a trip, and I'm enjoying it to a certain degree. There's a side of me that likes what's happening, and there's a side of me that, you know, is like, okay, not so excited about it, you know, but still willing and still open. So it's good. Today was a good day. And I'm not going to sing Ice Cube, so never mind. You guys have a good day, and namaste. The weirdness in me honors and raises up the weirdness in you. Have a great night.